So what's up, everyone? It is your girl Gel Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today we are gonna get into if I had to declutter one from each brand. So this video was inspired by, I'm told, Betty Jean, or Batty Bean now, because she's not Beauty Bean anymore. And I saw my girl Dr. Adriangameover do it, and then I just saw my girl Beauty and Frizz do it. So that's when I was like, okay, I guess we need to jump on this little train here real quick. Shoo, just jump on the train and go ahead and do some palettes that I would declutter if I, had to declutter from these brands. So I like just about all these brands except for the first one we're gonna talk about, but that's because they standing with Putin, and so you should know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I gave y'all a review on this holiday palette, and this is like, to me, like the least desirable Anastasia palette. I'm not including like the Norvina little collection on the side. I'm just talking about the ABH palettes. And this is a palette that I never liked. Like when I first started, I was like, oh, it looks like other stuff they have, and I didn't like it. So this is the Primrose palette. So if I had to get rid of an ABH palette, it'd be easy to get rid of this one, because I just don't like it. Like, Couture looks okay, but it's just really boring. And then this random orange blush that I feel like is like a bronzer on other people, a really orangey weird bronzer, and then like not the perfect blush on me. And then this cantaloupe looking blush that doesn't work on me by my skin tone, but it works on lighter skin tones. And it's just a whole hot mess. This palette is just like, to me, a regurgitated version of Modern Renaissance, where they just added some purples to it. I don't know. I'm not with it. I don't like it. I didn't think the quality was good. I heard other people saying the quality was good. Like, too much mouth says, girl, if you like it, I love it. But if I had to let it go, it would be easily this palette. It could go, child. It could go, and don't ever let it come back again. Thank you so much. Okay, bye. Now, we all know I love Artist Couture to death, but alas, for some reason, when he does warm tones, I'm not about it. I'm not with it. He can give me cool tones. He can give me pastel. I love all of it. But when he does warm tones, I'm just like, no. Like, I'm like a lot of people who didn't like Caliente, but since I already decluttered it and gave it to one of my friends and she likes it, I can't, show it to you. I gave it to Jackie. So I figured I'd show you this one. This is the Supreme Bronze. Now, it's not a bad palette. It's just more of, I don't really wear warm tones like that to begin with, so that's why it would be easy for me to get rid of. Aside from the fact that the formula in this, to me, doesn't seem the same as the one in the Cool Tone palette, which is just the Supreme Nudes. And that one, to me, is just a million times better. So this one is an easy pass and let go for me, just because I'm not a warm tone person. I'm not really a neutral person, but if I do neutrals, it's going to be cool tones, not warm tones. And I don't feel like this formula of this compares to the formula of his original palette. So y'all might actually catch a couple of these on Bakerie. Like, I'm thinking about putting these two on Bakerie. So, just keep an eye out for it. I might screenshot and put up my Bakerie once I add some more stuff, because I have decluttered more things since I did the declutter videos last year, because I keep getting things in, so I need to keep moving stuff out. So yeah, the next one I have is BH Cosmetics. Now, if I had to declutter one of their palettes, this one was still easy for me. I was tied between two palettes, but one I can still make work. With this one, I just felt like the tones were a little too ashy, and I'd have to use this more companion palette, whereas with the other one, which was Party in Puerto Rico, I can still use that on its own. But I feel like with the Mimosa Weekend Vibes palette, I'd have to pair with something else, because the tones in here to me are so light. I know it's hard to show because of the reflection on here, but like, look how light those tones are for some of my skin. So I feel like, with all the palettes I have and all the pastels that I have that work for people my skin tone and all the other things I have going on in my collection, to me this just wouldn't be a necessity to have. So it's like, if I had to get rid of a BH palette, this would definitely be the one, because girl, I like this color right here, but like, it's just not giving what I needed to be giving if we gotta, like, get rid of other BH palettes, because it's not top end to any of the other BH palettes I have. Okay, so it got to go. The next one I have to talk about is, I want to just get this one out the way, because it's like, I've harped on this palette and how much I didn't like it a lot. I made a video about how, it was what started my Deceiving Color Story series. So if you have been here for a little while, then I'm talking about the Glam Light Ice Cream Dream palette. I do not like this palette. I feel like the colors don't show up the way that they're supposed to, and I didn't feel like it was easy to work with either. So like, this is my least favorite Glam Light palette, the Ice Cream Dream. All the other ones are okay. I mean, I don't really like the Icy Monochromatic collection that much, but they redeemed themselves with the Hershey one, because I feel like that one's amazing. But the Icy collection will probably be my second up, because I feel like, since it's a monochromatic palette, you can only do so much. But with this one, I just didn't like the fact that the colors were deeper than they were supposed to be. Like, when you put them in your eye, I was expecting the color that's in the pan, and I feel like it oxidizes and goes deeper, and that's why I didn't like this. Plus, like I said, I didn't feel like it was fun to work with, and the palette should be fun to work with, because as many as I have to choose from, I can easily just be like, to the left, girl, keep moving. and so that's why I picked that palette in particular. Next, we're gonna get into some Huda Beauty. So y'all know I love Huda Beauty. I always buy her big palettes every year during the holidays, and I buy a few little ones throughout the year. But my least favorite big palette, I would have to say, that I actually bought, because you know she has a whole bunch of big neutral ones that I'm not really big on, like the Naughty Nude. I wasn't feeling it, but I don't like Mercury Retrograde. And you think this would be the one I like because it's the one with the most color in it, but I don't know, something about the color story is weird, and then the fact that I feel like the shimmers are like kind of sheerish, if you will, it didn't impress me really. So that's why I'm like kind of over it, like, yeah, I don't really like this one. This is my least favorite one. I'd rather just had the little individual Obsession ones that had these tones in it and these tones in it, like she did I believe earlier in the year. But since these tones don't work on me that well either, it's kind of just like, to me this palette is a bust. I don't like it. I know a lot of people like it, like I know Andrea Montanalo really likes it, but I just don't like this palette. So if I had to get rid of a Huda one, this would definitely be the one that have to go, because my other ones are staying. They're not going anywhere. Rose Quartz wouldn't be going anywhere, and neither would neither would New Nudes, because believe it or not, those are my two favorite big size Huda palettes. I don't like Desert Dust, but I already decluttered that and gave it to one of my friends too, so it's like I couldn't show you that because I despise Desert Dust even more than this. But I had to show you what I had as opposed to just talking about stuff and popping up pictures, because I got too much going on. I ain't got time to pop up pictures. Okay, so so far I've been going in order. Okay, so next we have Juvia's Place. So y'all know I own a whole bunch of Juvia's Place. I give y'all a lot of Juvia's Place videos because I really like Juvia's Place color stories. But lately I feel like I've been doing a lot of the same color stories over again. Like when I did that Couture palette video, you always talking about the colors that they had done before. I'm like, yeah, lately I feel like they turning the color pop and just regurgitating the same color. So I don't know how I feel about that. But this is my least favorite palette from them, and I feel like you should already know what it is. It is the Wahala palette. I don't know what it is about this palette. I do not like it. I don't know if it's the color story, the way it's set up, the fact there's pressed glitters in it, because I don't like the pressed glitters. I don't like the color story of this. So it's like, I think that's what my main issue is. The fact that the color story isn't exciting to me. And then I don't like that there's pressed glitters in there where it could have been like matte shadows that I could use. And I don't know what, like I said, I don't know what it is about this palette and this color story, but I do not like this palette. And I usually like their palettes for the most part. It's very few Juvia's Place palettes I don't like, but that is definitely one of them. Y'all, I look so red on camera. Why didn't nobody see me, child? So the next brand I have to talk about is Lunar Beauty. So when I talk about Lunar Beauty, I don't own that many palettes from Lunar Beauty, but I still wanted to like share this brand in particular. I don't remember why. I think I only have like 4 palettes from this brand. Yeah, I have the Moonspell 2, the Strawberry Dream, which is my favorite one from them, and then the Eclipse one, was it Lunar Eclipse? But if I had to get rid of one, I would get rid of the last one he came out with, which is the Moonspell Volume 2. Now I don't have any issues with the color story of this palette. I just feel like the formula isn't the same as the other ones. And this one, when I tried it, I liked it, and in the video I said I liked it, but it's like upon using it first, I was just kind of like, I'll have these colors in other tones. And then since he changed places that he manufactures his shadows, it's like you can tell the difference, because when I use the Eclipse palette versus this one, it's like I can tell the difference in the quality. And it's not that it's bad quality, but when you're used to a certain quality and it changes, and you're not as excited about it. So that's why I picked this palette in particular. Plus, you know, I have other palettes that have a similar color story to this that I like better, so it's like I'd rather just play with those over this one. So that's how that got picked. Next I have Natasha Denona. So the Natasha Denona palette I chose, I feel like no one should be surprised about this. Again, I got rid of the Lila palette, so I can't show that one because I don't have it, but it's still not, I don't dislike it as much as I dislike this one, and that would be the Tropic palette. So I'm not going to open it because my Tropic palette doesn't look the way it's supposed to. I don't want to be confusing people out here thinking it's the Tropic palette, because I popped some shades from, what is it, I believe from Trio Chrome and from, what is it, the Circle Local palette inside this one to make my palette look the way I wanted to. And I think I took a shade out of here and put it in my, what's that palette? The Safari palette. But yeah, I do not like this palette. This to me is the worst Natasha Denona palette ever made. I know the late great Mel Thompson doesn't like my Safari palette, but I actually like that one. This is the one that I literally despise and don't like. The shimmers in here are okay, but like the mattes are too light, and then the deepest chocolate matte in here matches my skin tone, so it's like I don't even have any transition shades really in this palette. So to me, this palette was a total bust, and this is my least favorite Natasha Denona palette. So I think I only got a couple more brands to talk about. I was trying to decide if I should talk about Colored Rain and Mented Cosmetics, but I'm trying to keep it short. So I think we'll just end with this last one. And then if you want to see a part 2, I had a few more palettes sitting out, but I was trying to like save time because it's like 4 in the morning and you know, I'm tired. Because I just got off work just to film this video so I'd have something to go up on Friday. Because I'm trying to change my filming schedule to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. This week I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then next week I'll do Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And then I'm thinking about put the poll on my community tab. You can tell me which one you prefer and if you think I should change the time too. Because lately I've been thinking about maybe doing like 5 or 8 o'clock as opposed to 12 like I normally do, but I feel like 5 would probably be best. Anyway, let's get into the last palette finally. So I have the Odins Eye Saga Freya. So if I had to get rid of an Odins Eye palette, this would be it, the cat with the golden carriage. Out of all the palettes I have from Odins Eye, I just feel like this is my least favorite one. I don't know why, because like it has greens and oranges, but I think it's because I don't like orange. If you all didn't know, orange is my least favorite color. I hate the color orange, but I worked at a place for 6 years where you had to walk around with orange aprons on, so that's probably why I despise the color orange. It's just a personal preference thing, but I don't go out of my way to wear orange. I'll do it every once in a full moon if I feel like it'll make a good look with some greens and some reds, but I don't ever just want to wear orange. The fact that these green and oranges together doesn't really excite me too much. But this was the palette out of all the ones in the collection that I saw myself halfway using when I bought it to do the review. So that's how I ended up with it. But this is not my favorite. I do not like it. And if I had to get rid of an Odins Eye palette, that would be it. So those are the palettes I would get rid of if I had to delete one from each one of my collection. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.